Hi.
Everyone.
Hello.
How's your con going?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
Oh, yeah, killer.
Very good, thanks.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Jump right in.
Do it.
I asked before, but do you feel like that show can go beyond?
I hope so.
It has to.
Yeah. For an adaptation, I think that's the whole point of doing something. If you're just going to do a beat for beat, what Chris Rogers calls the karaoke version, it's boring. I think that comics can do things that television can't, and television can do things that comics can't, and it's that passage of time. A comic, all 30 issues, even though it came out over a course of years, for the girls in the story, it's only a few nights of their life. The idea that we could do a show where we could literally watch these young actresses grow up and these characters grow up, it felt like this is justification for doing an adaptation. So yeah, I hope it goes far beyond the comic while still being very true to the heart of it.
But in adapting it to live action, we lose Cliff's art, we lose Matt's colors, so you do gain stuff, but how do we maintain your work?
Early on, the production team asked me to put together some notes, some of my visual inspiration, and I talked about, what the suburbs look like, what the robots look like, why they look that way, and they took all that stuff to heart. They assimilated it, and you can see it in all the frames. So, and then you also see some of Matt Wilson's beautiful colors and the palettes in the sky and everything like that. So, one of the benefits of comics is that we can super stylize things, and then one of the benefits of TV is that you can really make it feel believable. It's photorealistic, it's lived in, and that gives an extra dimension to the story because you feel it very sincerely and honestly, and then all the action, and all hell breaks loose.
How do you feel like adapting creating all these characters work together?
Oh yeah, I mean, both things I had a great time working on, but Paper Girls, I think because it's a creator-owned book, it's not part of a larger universe that, Marvel has very specific concerns. It was just so much more freedom that it was really fun. And it was sort of like we got to be the Marvel Comics here to tell them that, this is what's really important to us about the book. This is what we think you should capture, and these are the areas that we want to give you total freedom. So it's a real joy getting to do this.
The show has approximately all-female writer room. Do you feel like now you're telling new revelations about the story having their perspective is very powerful?
I think that perspective has always been really important to the story. We tried, our best in presenting a story with 4 young female protagonists, and then with the show, having that opportunity with the writers' room and the directors, to really put that female perspective forward, makes it unlike anything else that's on TV right now.
Yeah, I don't know how many episodes you've all gotten to see, but there's this moment in episode 5 where the girls get to talk about something very specific, and just hearing about what a joy it was in that writer's room that day for women to say, what an opportunity for us to talk about the kind of thing you not only never see in genre TV, but you rarely see in TV at all. I'm so grateful, not just for them, but knowing that we had an all-female director team, that it was a real honor and privilege to see what it added to the show, but it was also heartening to hear how much they all enjoyed the comic and felt like this is something that we want to add our voices to. Not like, oh, here's what we're going to go in and correct what these dudes screwed up about us, but that they're like, we see this as an opportunity to expand and to deepen. A privilege.
Once upon a time, you said that this comic was unadaptable, and now we're about to watch, it take over the world, hopefully. What changed?
Yeah, I think I was happy to be proven wrong. That when it came time to do this comic, I just done Saga and it was successful, and I felt like we have a little capital to spend. So let's do the kind of story that I would never be able to walk in and pitch this a story with 4 adolescent female protagonists is such, unfortunately, at the time, felt like a really hard sell. There are practical, economic reasons, and I was like, this could only be a comic, and I love to be proven wrong, but there was suddenly this willingness of, let's be bold, and let's take a chance on this. So, yeah, I'm so grateful to Amazon for saying this is a story worth fighting for that we think can live as a show. So, happy to be proven wrong.
One of my favorite aspects of the comic is your commentary on nostalgia. We live in a world where nostalgia kind of rules television and movies. You feel like you make that same commentary. Can you choose television and saying like how the world is affected by nostalgia?
Yeah, it was something that was really important to us when we were talking with the writers, is that we don't want to do a nostalgic show. That it feels like there are a lot of fiction about the 80s in particular. Feels like it has this rose-colored glasses, that it's more commenting on other shows and movies that we love from the 80s, but Cliff and I are old-timers, and we grew up in the 80s, and it was oftentimes a dark and scary place, a bigoted, homophobic world, and we wanted to say, look, let's do a show that really takes a hard look at the 80s and says, you know, life is not about wallowing in the past and pretending like it wasn't this dark place. Life is about progress and pushing forward. And I think the show captures that as beautifully as the comic hopefully did.
A big inspiration for us was our friends, our childhood friends, and you know, we both grew up, I think, with lots of female friends in particular, and you know, finding like some of their spirit and relying on that to inform us as we went through the story.
Yeah, it was about, you know, Cliff was always big about, let's not do just these 80s signposts of leg warmers, you know, and this stuff. Let's make it honest and let's make it about people. So keeping the inspiration always in the real world and not just the songs and video games or whatever that we love from the past.
More comics from you two.
You got it. If you guys aren't reading Cliff's Catwoman series,
I sure as hell am.
okay, good. All right. Thank you so much.
Take care. Have a
Great
good
to
one.
see